lavish hotel room in Hamburg, Germany. A man and woman are lounging in bed, sheets tangled around their legs. A phone buzzes on the woman's bedside table, and she reaches over to it. She checks the caller ID before answering.
Simo, what do you want?
Pardon me, Miss Romanova. Did I disturb your morning?
No, just getting up. Calling to check in?
My father wants an update. Have you secured the man in question?
He's fine. He'll lead us to where we need to go. Tell your father he has nothing to fear.
My father already has nothing to fear, Miss Romanova. Remember that.
Of course, Zemo. Is there anything else you require?
Only to remind you that my father does not tolerate tardiness. Be punctual to the rendezvous point or there will be...
We'll be on time, Zemo. Widow out.
Natasha hangs up her cell. Then she turns to her sleeping partner and jostles his shoulders.
Clint, wake up. It's time to get to work.
Clint Barton, the renowned archer known as Hawkeye, rolls over and squints at her. He then props himself up on a muscle-corded shoulder. His expression is a mix of sleep and annoyance, but as his eyes glide over her naked form, they spark with a hint of lust.
Work or work?
The time for that has passed, Clint. Come on. Our employers don't tolerate lateness.
Your employers, Nat. I was hired by you, not them. Whoever they are.
Well, it's time you met. Now, come along.
Natasha rises from the bed and makes her way towards the suite's bathroom, pulling the sheets along with her. She casts a coy look over her shoulder.
If we shower together, we can shave off a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Clint bounds off the bed and embraces her. She allows his excitement to sweep her off her feet and carry her into the bathroom. Her legs wrapped around his hips as the sheet falls away. Across the room, Natasha's phone chimes with a notification that obscures a photo of her and the Red Guardian on their wedding day. The message reads, "Upload complete." Over in New York City, a broad-shouldered African-American man sits in a cafe near the Avengers mansion. Dressed for a cool fall morning, he sips patiently on his coffee. He watches as Steve Rogers enters and approaches the counter, from behind which a young blonde woman smiles warmly at him in greeting.
Hello, Mr. Rogers. Your usual?
That predictable, huh? Please, Sharon. Call me Steve.
You've ordered the same venti black coffee with a raspberry Danish every time you've been here. Unless you're feeling adventurous today, Steve.
Playing it safe today. Just the usual, please.
Okay, that'll be $9.36, please.
Steve just shakes his head as he pulls out the credit card from Stark and pays for his breakfast. He then nods to Sharon and makes his way over to the man watching him amiably, extending his hand.
Sam, thank you for meeting me here so early.
Well, when Captain America says to meet him somewhere, you don't complain. You just show up.
Well, I appreciate it all the same.
I will say I was surprised by your call. What can I help you with?
Well, as I'm sure you've noticed, it's hard for me to share in group sessions.
You know there's no pressure to talk. We're all there to help each other, but you can't force it upon someone else. Though I will say, every time you've shared, it's helped the others. You inspire people, Steve, even when you're not in uniform.
They are interrupted as Sharon sets a steaming cup of coffee on the table with a demure smile and tucks a strand of hair behind her ear.
Here you go, Mr. Rogers. Is there anything else I can get you?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
She flashes another smile and leaves him as Sam arches a brow at Steve.
Funny. I had to get my own coffee.
I'm sorry. I'll speak to her about that.
You can't be that dense, can you?
What?
She's clearly flirting, Mr. Rogers.
No, she wasn't. She's a SHIELD agent, Sam. She's just using the excuse of bringing my coffee over to determine what we're talking about.
How can you tell?
She, has a tell. Every time someone comes in, her right hand disappears under the counter and her footing shifts into a shooter stance until she can determine if they're friendly or not. It only lasts a second at most. Here, watch.
As a young couple walks in, Sam discreetly watches the barista. Sure enough, her right hand disappears under the counter for only a moment before she greets them warmly.
Well, both things could be true.
Sure, I guess.
I'm guessing you didn't call me to discuss secret agents working as baristas near your place of residence, though.
No, I didn't. I gotta be honest, I'm struggling with the mantle of being Captain America.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm happy to listen. See what I can help with.
That's why I called you. You got a good head on your shoulders, Sam. Level-headed, logical. Good qualities for a man leading these group sessions.
All right, thank you. But quit buttering me up. If you don't mind me asking, what does it mean to be Captain America to you?
When Erskine first approached me about the project, it meant a way that we could win the war without a massive loss of life. When I became the only one, it meant being the man with a plan. But now, this America is so different from the one I left behind. Am I a hero, a leader, or a tool for nationalistic colonialism and unfettered American capitalism? Or worse, a fascist regime under the guise of freedom?
Someone's been reading.
Of course I have. I can't believe this is the world after the war. I dropped $10 for a coffee and a Danish. Do you know how far $10 would have gone back then? Also, while we're at it, it wasn't even 10 physical dollars I paid with, just this plastic thing.
You know, if we were anywhere else, I'd say you sound homesick.
Perhaps I am. Listen, don't get me wrong. My America has had its issues. Changes that needed to be made that, in very broad strokes, have been addressed. A friend recently asked me what I thought about the fact that 70 years later, America is still fighting the same fights. I told him not to dwell on it, but the truth is...
Yeah?
Truth is, I'm very disappointed in today's America. For all the accomplishments, you still have abject poverty, global conflicts, and corrupt leaders. Only now you fight each other over so-called culture wars as if we aren't all Americans. You let men with far too much money dictate the course of your future.
Who says we let them? Is this not the system as it was intended?
Once upon a time, I would have said yes. And I would have been very wrong. But if this was the intended outcome, I don't know what my role in it is anymore.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Not just for you, but for us all. Where do any of us fit into this world?
What are you saying?
That even for a man out of time, you're not alone in this. We all grapple with our place in the world, Steve. And I gotta admit, it's good to see that even the world's greatest soldier is still human.
I'm not one for pedestals. I'm just a soldier, Sam.
So, are you looking for orders or purpose?
Speaking of orders, hang on just for a second. Go for Steve.
Captain, your presence has been requested back at the mansion. An unknown message has been received that Mr. Stark believes you should see ASAP.
Okay, I'm on my way. ETA, 4 minutes.
Very well, Captain.
Sorry, Sam. Duty calls. We'll, have to continue this another time.
I'm going to hold you to that, Steve. Same time next week?
As long as I come back. Until then, Sam.
The two men stand and shake hands. Steve gathers his coffee and heads back to the mansion to gear up and fight one more time.
Nat, these are your employers?
Clint and Natasha are in the lead car of a convoy of black, nondescript SUVs through a forested region in Germany. They are separated from the back by a soundproof divider, granting both ends privacy for the time being.
Do you have a problem with them, Hawkeye?
Oh, no, not at all, widow. Why would I have a problem with a bunch of rich assholes with their own private army, a crazy lady, and a man the size of a mountain that carries a giant double-bladed axe?
Says the man who uses a bow and arrow as his primary weapon.
Not the point. I am a little uncomfortable with how this all hinges on me, too. How do they even know about my past?
Simple. I told them.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ, Nat! What the hell? What do you mean you told them?
Calm down. I only told them what they needed to know. You'll fill in the rest once we get to the location. And quit calling me Nat when we are working.
All right, sheesh. You'd think I was revealing Russian missile codes or something, way you're acting.
It's called being a professional. And we're here.
Yay.
The convoy pulls up to a large field carved into the forest. Natasha and Clint disembark and gear up while the other cars pull up. Natasha in her specialized widow gear, and Clint in a set of purple and black archer's leathers with a matching mask. Troops in green uniforms and faceless helmets begin pouring out of the vehicles as the duo are joined by Amora, Scourge, and the Zemos, all equally geared up for an adventure. Baron Zemo, holding a large case, smiles at the widow.
So, this is the place, Dame Romanova. Your source has very good memory.
The source also has ears.
My dear boy, there was no insult there. Merely an appreciation of your mind. Why don't you tell us why you were out here in this lovely meadow, where you show us the real prize, Herr Barton?
Yeah. Sure, right this way. I used to work for a traveling circus as a kid. Learned everything I'd ever need to know from it. It's where I became the fine specimen of bravado and marksmanship you see before you.
What is a circus?
Hostage.
How have you never heard of a circus?
They aren't from around here. But never mind them. Tell us how you found it.
Right.
The eclectic party troops across the field to the tree line. Clint clears away some brush, uncovering a narrow dirt path that has been woven into the woods.
As I was saying, I trained to be the best by my mentor, Jock. Mind you, he was only a few years older than myself, but it was the circus. We were all one big, happy family. So, as a show of leadership and knowledge, he'd send me out to find materials, usually alone. Said it was to build character. Later, I realized he was just being an asshole teenager.
Oh, unfortunate for you, son.
Not your son, Moneybags. I don't need your pity. I got by all on my own.
No one is offering pity, Archer. And mind your mouth. We're not paying you to be flippant.
No, you're paying me for this.
Hawkeye leads the group to the base of the small hill, where one side seems far too angular to be naturally made. He walks up to a particularly flat section covered in vines, pulls an arrow from his quiver, and slams the tip into the dirt before rushing back to the group.
You're gonna want to stand back for this. Fire in the hole!
The small device goes off, removing the vines and layers of dirt. The echo of the explosion is swallowed up by the surrounding forest. Natasha throws Clint an icy look.
C4, Hawkeye? You just walk around with it in your quiver?
Hey, you don't hear me complaining about your high-powered gizmos. You stick to your shtick, I'll stick to mine.
While the duo argues, Helmet approaches the blown-out area, wiping away more dirt before brushing something hard. His action reveals a metallic surface with a skull with several tentacles beneath it.
Father, the Archer was right. is a door here.
The others quickly gather around Helmet, with the Baron taking the lead.
Yes, indeed he was. Scourge, clear the rest of this dirt away, now!
Aye, sir.
With 3 powerful swings of his axe, Scourge clears the door entirely of dirt and grass, exposing the concrete foundation of a bunker and a set of double locks.
Damn. Got enough muscle there, big guy?
Certainly more than you, mortal.
Quiet, both of you. Helmut, you have your key?
Yes, Father.
The 2 men approach the door and insert the keys into the locks. With a glance and nod, they both twist at the exact same time. The inscribed skull shifts forward, then 2 short handles spring out of either side. Helmet grasps both handles and turns it a quarter counterclockwise. Inside, they can hear the locks come free. With a gentle shoulder push, Helmet opens the door, then steps aside to allow his father to enter.
My son, we've done it!
Everyone steps inside after him, where they are met with a large entryway and an array of boxes stamped with a Nazi swastika on the side.
Huh. Got some old-ass shit here. Didn't think this place was from that era.
Oh, it very much is. So much has been lost from the war, and Adolf's short-sightedness. And to think I once took orders from that man. Come, our true prize lies farther in.
Wait, what? You're old, but you don't look that old.
Good living and some Russian meddling. As payment for your story, I can tell you a little of mine. This bunker was a special place where the best and brightest of the Reich came together to envision not just Germany's future, but the world's future. Under our leadership, of course.
Of course.
We called it Hydra. 3 of us led it back then. Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, Johann Schmidt, and me. But with the end of the war and the fall of the Reich, Hydra fractured. Strucker went on to be killed off by a clandestine organization, leaving much to his family. I struggled on, thankfully, but Johann...
The Baron leads them down a hallway and into an echoing chamber with a man-sized metal coffin in the center, connected to a console by several cables. The air temperature drops by 20 degrees as they approach the coffin. The mist rolls off the center hose. At the head area is a small viewing port, which the Baron cleans off.
He drew the short straw and was put on ice until we would need him. Helmut, check the console. Get it to print his current status. We need to begin the thawing process. The rest of you, go search the base. Bring me anything you think would be useful.
The group disperses and Clint pulls Natasha aside, a grave look on his face.
Nat, what have you gotten me into?
I've gotten you paid, Hawkeye. That was what you wanted most. Duh.
Yeah, but not by Nazis. I like gold, but not that gold.
You can always walk, though your bank account might disagree with your choice. As might that army outside.
I could take them.
You're good, Clint, but not that good.
Oh, this is shit. Nat, I'm not comfortable with this situation.
You just need to keep your head on your shoulders and an arrow ready. Am I understood?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hawkeye turns and walks away from the Black Widow.
Jarvis, could you repeat that?
Yes, Wasp. Satellite scans of the area reveal a large subterranean structure in the Black Forest region of Germany. Several sections have collapsed over time, but the main entrance and the immediate parts near it have remained standing and operational.
It's a World War II era bunker in frickin' Germany. Okay, nothing should be working.
Scans show a very low power draw still functional within the structure, the purpose for which remains unclear. Many of the Reich's top secret files have yet to be digitized, if they even exist.
From what I was able to glean, it seems like Raiders of the Lost Ark wasn't too far off from the truth. There's even research here that indicates they were getting into Gamma.
Oof. Now there's a terrifying thought. Nazi Hulk.
I don't get the reference, but yes, the Reich was into many things, thanks to their secretive science division. Zemo and von Strucker were the public face of it, but they had this enforcer. His name was the Red Skull. From the records Jarvis was able to obtain, apparently he disappeared shortly after I did.
Jarvis, please add the first Indiana Jones movies to the top of the list.
Yes, sir.
Captain, what can you tell us about this Red Skull?
I fought him a handful of times during the war. He was very tough and very strong, tactically brilliant, but he tended towards the plans that caused the most misery and pain. He became a little predictable. My team and I were able to thwart him several times throughout the war.
Yeah, these howling commandos. Seriously, who named your outfit?
Fury did. Now, as I was saying, we defeated them at nearly every turn. After the Baron was killed in the mission that put me on ice, they ran and hid. According to the reports, the Allies lost track of the rest of them, especially after von Strucker's assassination at the hands of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Wait, what?
That is correct, Giant Man. In the early days after the war, S.H.I.E.L.D. was created to maintain global stability at any cost.
But they don't do assassinations now, right?
That remains unclear.
Well, I feel great now.
Avengers, please. Maybe focus on the task at hand.
Alright, sorry, Thor. Didn't get your second mug of mead this morning?
Jarvis, you summoned us because of a message. What was the nature of it?
At 4:30 this morning, the official Avengers email received an anonymous message. Upon receipt, it was flagged for private review by Mr. Starr, who did not get to it until 6:45.
6:45? I'm impressed, Tony. That's a whole 2 hours before your usual hungover morning stupor.
Oh, please, Jan. I wasn't hungover. I was just seeing a lady out.
I smell a load of barnacles.
Avengers!
Thank you, Thor. All the message said was that the Avengers needed to be here at these coordinates in Germany as soon as possible. It singled me out in particular. What was it that got it flagged for review, Tony?
There was an underlying code embedded in the message, one in Cyrillic. Okay, the weird thing is, though, is that she's used it before. Jarvis, pull her up.
On the view screen, a picture of the Black Widow appears before the Avengers.
Natasha Romanova, aka the Black Widow, primarily in the services of the Russians as one of their top covert agents. If she is ever with another group, it is safe to assume her true masters are the Kremlin.
She's smart, thorough, and deadly as hell. Not to mention her physique. We've crossed paths on more than one occasion.
A woman Stark can't charm? Now that is impressive.
She doesn't know who I am, genius. Now, the last time I saw her was just before that troll attack. I've been doing my best to keep tabs on her after our little excursion into Russia. Okay, after that she just vanished. I haven't seen or heard from her since.
Until now. And you have no facilities in Germany?
Now, I have facilities all over, Thor, and none even remotely near here. But the weird thing is the code. She's never used the same one twice. She knows I have them all flagged.
It's almost like she wanted to be caught.
But why would she want to get caught? Especially by us.
I don't know. We're about to find out. We're a few minutes away, Jarvis. Is the landing zone clear?
Negative, Captain. It appears there are several SUVs in the area, along with 24 heavily armed men. Key traces indicate more have already breached the underground complex.
Thank you, Jarvis. All right, Avengers. Battle plan. Thor, take Wasp and Iron Man with you and clear the LZ. Giant Man, I need you poring over these schematics and reports. I want to know what we're getting ourselves into here.
Aye, Captain.
Those thugs won't know what hit them.
Be careful out there, Jan.
Hold on, sweetheart. No loving words for me?
Oh, be careful out there, Tony. Go figure out why your Russian girlfriend called us out here.
She's not my girlfriend.
Guys, you have your orders. Let's move, Avengers.
At his command, Iron Man and Thor depart from the Quinjet and race towards the congregated henchmen.
Helmut, initialize the sawing process.
Right away, Father.
The Zemos work together to coax the Age machine into performing its task, reviving the old Hydra Enforcer from his frozen slumber. The process is laborious, with the combined difficulties of old technology and a failing power source. Just as the thawing process is to begin, Helmut becomes distracted and puts a hand to his ear.
What is that?
It's Thor. It would appear the Avengers have found us.
How did they? It does not matter. No, they cannot be allowed to interrupt the process. Go take the others and stop them. I can handle the rest here.
Aye, Father.
Helmut dashes from the room while the Baron finishes punching in the last of the commands. The antique machine begins to whir and power up. Air hisses and the warming elements draw in more power.
Yes. Awaken, my old friend.
Wo bin ich?
Welcome back to the world of the living, Herr Schmidt.
Raising groggily from the stasis chamber is a tall, muscled, mostly naked man. From the neck down, there is little that is out of the ordinary, but starting at the top of the neck and completely covering the man's head is red, lighted skin. It appears almost like a deep tissue burn. His ears, nose, and parts of his lips are gone, while his red skin is stretched thin across his cheekbones and other hard points of his head. The impression left behind is of a red skull.
Baron, how's it been so long? You look...
Aye, the constant march of time has taken its toll on me. But more years have passed than you can imagine. The world is a far different place, Johann. Come, I have your uniform ready.
The Baron opens the case he brought to reveal a crisp Nazi uniform, bedecked in medals and several honors. Johann Schmidt, the Nazi known as the Red Skull, finishes detaching the last needles and nodes from his body and joins the Baron. The blighted red skin around his mouth splits into a smile.
Just as nice as the day I put it away. Ever so thoughtful, Baron. Tell me, where is Wolfgang and the rest of the department?
Wolfgang is dead. We are all that is left of Hydra. And now is the time of our return. Allow me to explain what has happened since you were put on ice.
Outside the compound, the Avengers are just mopping up with the hired gunmen. One of the SUVs is a flaming wreck, while another is wrapped around a tree. Unconscious and broken bodies litter the ground, but all are still breathing. Captain America and Giant Man join up with the other three after landing the Quinjet.
Any trouble?
Nay, Captain. Nothing but mortals and their guns.
Yeah, 'cause what's so bad about a bunch of goons with AR-15s, right?
I've already sent a message to the German emergency services for these guys. They'll be here in a few.
Outstanding work, you three. Giant Man, where are we going?
Well, according to the schematics, it looks like the entrance is about 100 feet that away.
Right. All right, Avengers. Let's move.
The heroes make their way to the facility entrance found earlier. The door has been closed and resealed.
Thor, if you would, please.
Aye, Captain.
Thor hurls his trusted hammer into the entrance. The steel door crumbles around the head and is forcibly removed from its moorings. Parts of the exterior wall go with it, enlarging the entrance substantially. Mjolnir returns to Thor's hand easily.
Thor, Have I told you how glad we are to have you back?
Aye, giant man. It's good to be back.
The Avengers step inside the now ruined front entrance. Metal, concrete, rebar, and dirt litter the lobby area. The Wasp approaches one of the boxes still left intact.
Oh shit. This is actual Nazi stuff. Please tell me we get to blast some Nazis. That would really make my day.
I do not know what a Nazi is.
But you are welcome to try blasting us instead, little girl.
Green mist pours into the room. As it dissipates, it leaves behind 5 figures. Amora, Scourge, Helmet, the Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Amora wears a closely tailored green battle dress, while Scourge is clad in his heavy armor, brandishing his executioner's axe menacingly. Helmet has his mask up, completely obscuring his features. The Widow's sticks are powered up, and Hawkeye's bow is nocked with an arrow ready, but not drawn. He casts a worried glance the Widow's way, but that is all.
Amora!
Hello, beloved. Miss me?
Like one misses a tick.
Mind your tongue, lout, or I will rip it out.
Now, my lumbering friend. Hold your place.
But he...
I said hold your place! Now, Avengers. I'm only going to ask you to leave once. After that...
Yeah, not really an option here. Widow, who are your pals? If you wanted to do a group thing, we could have just chilled out at my place. Order a couple pizzas, drink a couple beers.
Oh, you're a real charmer.
Says the guy wielding tech used by a caveman. Seriously, if you want to get a big boy weapon, we'll wait.
Wait till you see the punch on this.
All right, that's enough. All of you. We can work this out peacefully, but we have questions. Why are you here? And how did you get in?
Can it be that fate would bring us all back together here in your true birthplace, Captain?
That voice. It can't be.
From around the corner steps the Baron, a maniacal grin on his aged face. He casually saunters up next to Hawkeye as he digs into his suit pocket and pulls out a piece of quilted purple fabric. Confusion twists the captain's face as his mind begins to remember.
That's not possible. I saw you die.
Oh, my dear Captain, no. Fate had other plans for me. We were not alone in those chilly waters all those years ago. The Russians were out there for reasons only they knew. They pulled me from what should have been my icy tomb. They captured me, and then they experimented on me. Kept me alive with the technology they stole right from this base. Doing work even more heinous than we are. I escaped, eventually settled down. But then, Father Time started to collect what was his due.
The Baron clenches his wizened fist and grimaces. He looks back to Captain America and straightens his posture. Beside him, Hawkeye shoots another look at the Widow, then refocuses on the Avengers.
I started to believe I no longer had purpose, Captain. That all my work, all my years given to the Reich would be for nothing. But then, you returned. After all these years, and still the same as that fateful day on the plane. That was when I knew my purpose. To finish my work, and to kill you. And truly, Captain, I should thank you.
Cap, what are we waiting for? Let's take this son of a bitch.
For you see, it was your little group that inspired me to put together my own team. And we would not be complete without our own Crusader.
The Red Skull steps out of the hall from where the Baron had appeared earlier. He is dressed in his full uniform, including his issued Luger at his side. The smile on his face is painful to see and looks more like a grimace.
Ah, Stephen. It is so good to see old friends, yeah?
We were never friends, Skull. And we never will be.
Unfortunate. Very well. Captain!
And without warning, the Red Skull whips his sidearm out and pulls the trigger. The bullet strikes the captain in the center of the star on his chest, catching him off guard and sending him stumbling backward to land face up on the ground.
Kill them, my masters! Kill the Avengers!
The remaining Avengers begin to square off against the Baron's group. However, with the numbers 7-4 currently, the outcome appears dicey.
Hawkeye, now!
Hawkeye spins to his right and lets off the ready arrow. It strikes true through the trigger guard of the Skull's Luger, ripping the handgun from his grasp. The Red Skull grimaces and curls his cut hand into a fist. At the same moment, the Widow plants both tasers into Helmet's back, electrifying the young Nazi. He drops at once. The duo then bound away from the Masters, placing themselves alongside the Avengers.
About time, Natasha.
Oh, shut up and fight.
Traitors! Kill them!
Avengers! Assemble!
The Avengers, ready for battle, leap into action. Thor charges Scourge, hammer whirling and parrying blows from the executioner's axe. Amora skirts to the side and conjures a ball of green smoke that she hurls toward Hawkeye and the Widow, forcing them to break apart. Amora hurls another ball at the Widow, while Red Skull goes for Hawkeye. The Baron rushes to the side of the sun.
Wasp, cover me. I'm going after Cap.
Do we take down the other two?
I'll handle him.
Iron Man jets into the air and drops in front of the Widow, throwing up a repulsor shield to block a third blast from Amora.
Thanks, and you're late, Iron Man.
So that code was a signal.
What? Do you need it spelled out for you? I thought you were the intelligent one, Stark.
Right. Fight now, answers later. Got any of that C4 on you?
Across the way, the Red Skull has managed to get a hold of Hawkeye with both hands around the archer's throat.
Not this time. Go help.
From the ground, Captain America's shield flies across the room and strikes the Skull in the head, forcing him to release Hawkeye. It ricochets around the room, back to Cap's waiting hand. The Skull turns hate-filled eyes towards his nemesis.
You and I are done, Skull. One lousy bullet isn't gonna stop me.
Come meet your death, Captain.
The two super soldiers charge and trade brutal fisticuffs. With the captain back on his feet, Giant Man and the Wasp are free to join the fight. Giant Man assisting Thor as the Wasp attacks Mora. Baron Zemo helps his son to his feet.
Go! Assist them! Hold them, my masters! We will prevail yet!
The Baron steadies his son, then dashes off back into the compound. The Widow sees and pursues while Hawkeye takes on Helmet with an arrow to the shoulder.
Captain! Zemo cannot be allowed to find the true prize here.
Understood. Iron Man, Echo 13, Mark!
Iron Man spins and sends two repulsor shots toward the super soldiers. Cap disengages from the Skull, putting his shield up. The shots bounce and hit the Skull in the chest, sending him tumbling head over heels into a collection of boxes. He stays down, and Cap sprints after the Widow and the Baron.
I'm right behind you, Widow.
The Baron tears through the facility, operating on 70-year-old memories to lead him to the center.
Damn old age.
Zemo!
That American asshole! Here!
The Baron comes to a large door resembling the one at the entrance. Stretching his arms, he can just manage to place and twist both keys. Behind him, he can hear two separate sets of echoing footsteps, one much closer than the other. He grimaces as he twists open the last lock and opens the door.
Baron!
The Black Widow flies around the corner and tackles the older man through the open door. The Baron brings his cane up fast and powerful, striking the woman in the jaw, forcing her off him. The Baron is on his feet before her and brings another mighty blow down onto her back, driving her into the concrete. She is stunned and breathless before him.
I'm going to enjoy crushing your skull beneath my boots. Your traitorous wench!
Not today, Zemo.
Captain America rushes through the still open door and delivers a fist into the Baron's face with incredible force. The punch sends the old man stumbling away from the widow, his cane flying from his hands. Captain America stays with him, maintaining his advantage.
I don't know how. I don't care how. But I'm gonna make you wish you never came back.
The final strike from Cap's fist plants the Baron on the ground. His face is bloody and swollen as he clutches his ribs. He lolls his head upward and sears daggers at his adversary.
So, this is what you are now. A thug that beats up old men. Are these the actions of a patriot? What would Bucky say?
What? No. You do not get to say his name.
Captain America leans down and hauls the Baron up by his shirt, then slams him into a wall. He begins to crush the old man between it and his fist as the Baron struggles to breathe.
Bucky was a good man, a true soldier, and a friend. You don't deserve to say his name.
Isn't what are you fighting for?
Captain.
Yeah, I know. He's just using me, pushing my buttons. That is the phrase these days, isn't it?
More or less. Leave him be.
Why should I trust you?
You can't trust her.
Yes, I lured you out here because I needed your help and you needed to know what was at stake, but my allegiance isn't to Russia. Not anymore.
Cap lessens the grip he has on Zemo's chest, but he does not let go.
Talk.
The widow approaches a sprawling console on the back wall and begins to input commands.
I'm here to retrieve a very powerful object. Russia has been operating clandestine operations in the region since the USSR fell, and far more openly before that. Raiding compounds and taking wartime German technology in hopes of making Russia the superpower of the world.
Their point to this.
I was supposed to bring it back to them. But then they killed my husband. This is my last mission, and I need your help to get out of it alive.
Then what do you care if he lives or not?
If it were up to me, his body would be at the entrance to this place with a bullet in his head. Same for the others. But Alexei, he was a lot like you, and I'd like to be more like him.
A look of understanding passes between the Russian spy and the American soldier. Cap looks back to Zemo.
I'm going to knock you out now, Zemo. This time, stay down.
Don't you dare!
Okay. What are we getting, and how can I help?
The widow finishes inputting her commands and steps back. A cylindrical port extends from the console and a handle pops out. She grabs it and removes it fully from the wall. Instantly, the power cuts out, save for some emergency lighting. For the port's size, it seems rather light in her hands. She holds it up, chest high.
Get me and the Cosmic Cube out of here and I will explain everything.
Done. Let me radio my team and...
The Red Skull appears at the doorway and fires a shot, the bullet striking the container instead of the Widow. He levels his Luger at them as he stalks into the room.
That would be unwise, Captain. Next shot goes through her head. Give me the cosmic cube, and I will let you live.
As if your word has ever meant anything, Skull.
Good, Schmidt. Kill them.
The Baron slowly rises from the floor. Old age and the captain's beating taking their toll. He collects his cane and rights himself.
Baron, I see you've lived through your beating.
Yes. It appears the good captain has lost his soldier's killing instinct. It would be best to put him out of his misery.
Perhaps you have more in common with the captains than you realize, Heinrich.
The Red Skull turns his head to look at the Baron, but keeps the gun trained on the heroes. The spy and the soldier exchange a look.
Johann, do as you are ordered by your superiors.
My superiors? Have you seen yourself lately, Heinrich? You're an old man now, a relic of a failed regime. Now is the time for a new Hydra to arise.
As much as I'm enjoying this...
Captain America throws his shield, catching the Red Skull's gun. On the rebound, it strikes the Baron in the chest before returning to him. At the same moment, the Black Widow dives forward with the Cosmic Cube's container. Using it as a springboard, she flips into the Red Skull and plants both feet into him.
You'll be doing it without this.
Following the super Nazi to the ground, the Black Widow drives one of her electro gauntlets into his neck. The taser flares and shocks him painfully before her momentum carries her through the open door. Behind her, Captain America leaps through the center of the room, right on her heels.
Move, Widow! Avengers, wrap it up out here. We're coming in hot and with a new priority. Get the Widow out of the compound.
On it, Cap. All right, let's end this.
Out in the lobby area, the fight between Baron's masters, the Avengers, and Hawkeye is finally turning to the Avengers' favor. The Wasp hovers above, calling out maneuvers and attack patterns.
Giant Man, 3 Lamoras on your right. Swing wide, now!
Giant Man does as ordered and catches Amora with his boot. She flies across the lobby and slams into the far wall. The impact snuffing out her magical constructs as she collapses to the ground.
Amora!
Focus, brigand!
Get off, pretty boy!
Scourge shifts his handholds on his double-bladed axe and sends the pommel towards Thor's face, forcing the God of Thunder back. Scourge then disengages and charges across the room to Amora's side, deflecting arrows shot from Hawkeye.
Me lady, are you injured?
Gather close, my executioner. It is time for us to depart.
Amora waves her hand weakly, and green mist envelops them. With a snap and a pop, both figures are gone.
What? No! Get back here, traitors!
And that leaves you.
Then, make it quick, Avengers. Strike me down, and make me a martyr to the cause.
We do not execute prisoners. That is not the Avenger way.
You guys might not, but I have no issue with it.
Stand down, Legolas. That's an order.
I don't take orders from you, Iron Ass! He's a Nazi!
As the Avengers begin to close ranks against Hawkeye, Captain America and the Black Widow rush into the lobby and towards the exit.
Hawkeye, on my 6.
All right.
In the confusion, Helmet triggers his invisibility cloak.
Sir, proximity alarms have suddenly appeared around you. The charges are substantial.
That's our execute. Everyone, out!
The Avengers pile out behind Widow and Hawkeye. Seconds later, the hill explodes into 1,000 clumps of sod before collapsing in on itself. The group is blown forward while Iron Man is knocked out of the air.
Avengers, sound off.
Cutting that a little close.
A little too close, if you ask me.
I am well, Captain.
I'm still up, Captain.
Do you think they survived the blast? Should we begin a rescue procedure?
No. I mean, I'm sure they survived and that they don't need our help. There's probably more back doors to that facility than a speakeasy. Knowing our luck, they're doing just fine.
Well, that's a chipper thought. So, what about our 2 stowaways?
We ain't stowaways, you talking tin can.
Hawkeye, enough. Take a walk and cool it for a minute, all right?
I can cool it, but I'm not leaving your side, Ned.
Okay, Widow. I followed my gut and trusted you. Saw you through to the end. Your turn. Just what did we manage to keep away from Zemo and the Skull?
And why lure us out here to start with?
Did you know what they would be doing here?
So many questions. Where does a girl start?
I don't know, maybe at the beginning.
Okay. If it's answers you want, it's answers you'll get. Cliff's Note version: I turned on Russia after I heard about my husband's death. I know about the cover-up. I was on this assignment at the time. We had heard some chatter that a man with deep pockets was working covertly to put together his own group. I was to find out to what end. I had spent several weeks...
Wait. You're married?
Not now, Hawkeye. Now, as I was saying, I was getting close. Working undercover, discovering that it was the Baron, and earning his trust. When it happened. And how callously they covered it up. But I was too close, and I needed to see this through to the end.
So that's when you decided to get us involved. Screw over the Baron and the Russians.
Yes, and no. I thought the secret facility Hawkeye knew about was only for the Cube. Thawing out the Nazi super soldier was a surprise, even for me.
But how did you know we'd show up?
I know my targets. There was no way your man of mystery here would pass up on a puzzle. At worst, I figured I'd just get him. Thankfully, I'm an optimist.
Look, this has been great and all, but I'm going to get to the end here. What does it do, and where do you plan to take it?
The Cube is a power source, the likes of which the world isn't ready for. Where the Nazis got it has been lost to time, but they did not create it. As for where it's going, that's classified.
You plan to take it to S.H.I.E.L.D., don't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny that, which makes this the end of the Q&A section.
I do not think so, ma'am.
I've got an arrow that says it is. Back off.
Spirited. For a fool.
Captain, I gave you my word.
That you did, Widow. Avengers, stand down.
Steve, you sure about this?
Yeah, Tony. I'm trusting my gut on this one.
Well, I've got something better. Jarvis?
Sir, running any deception capturing program against a highly trained Russian spy would be counterproductive. We would have better luck flipping a coin.
Fine. Let him go.
See, that wasn't so hard, Iron Man. I assure you, you won't regret it.
She takes 2 steps back, then turns and walks away from the group. Bow still drawn, Hawkeye begins to follow her.
Oh, if you guys ever want a leader that understands this century's problems, look me up sometime.
No thanks, hotshot. We already have a leader.
You're lost, babe.
With a wink, he disappears into the woods with the widow.
It's a good thing I'm a gentleman.
Do not worry about him. I like guys who use technology from this century.
All right, Avengers. Enough chit-chat. Let's get back to the Quinjet and go home. After-action reports won't write themselves.
Yay! Paperwork!
Ugh, it's so boring.
Yeah, I know.
Jarvis, send Pepper a message, tell her I'll be late.
A week later, Steve joins Sam for another early morning coffee. The weather is getting chillier far earlier than normal, a potential sign of the frigid winter approaching. After the usual song and dance routine to order his coffee, Steve sits down across from Sam.
You know, if you keep making this a habit, we're gonna have to start working these danishes off.
Sure, we can fit that in. I'm sure me lapping you a few times around Central Park would be good motivation.
Oh, really? Lap me, will you?
You know I only wear the jacket to look normal, right? I barely notice the cold.
Well, ain't you a lucky son of a gun?
Here you go, Mr. Rogers. Just the way you like it.
Thanks, Sharon. And please, just Steve.
Sure, Steve.
If you don't ask that girl out, I will. And you can stand there beside me on our wedding day and think, if only I had the guts.
I'll consider it, Sam.
What's there to consider, Steve? You clearly like her. And she's just about to leap into your lap, man. What more do you want?
Once upon a time, girls like her looked right over my head. And I do mean that literally. I don't know. It just shouldn't be this easy.
Easy? Last I checked, you volunteered to let a German scientist experiment on you, went into the war to end all wars, the sequel, then got your ass frozen for 70 years. You and I have very different interpretation of the word easy.
Well, when you put it like that.
All right, women aside for the moment. How are you feeling this week? We were interrupted last time. You still looking for some purpose or some orders?
You're right. I'm feeling better. I may not understand why or how, but I certainly have a purpose now. I can't tell you too much, but that last mission changed everything for me. There are people out there, old foes that I thought were long gone by now, that I need to beat back into the darkest corners of the world again.
Oh, man. That sounds serious. You know, you don't have to shoulder that burden alone. You've got friends, Steve. And I don't mean just the Avengers.
Thank you, Sam. It means a lot coming from you. But I would be remiss to put you in harm's way.
Fair enough. But if you ever find yourself in a tough scrape, you know who to call.
That I do.
Steve lifts his coffee cup and Sam mirrors. A quick tap together to the moment before taking a sip.
Hey, can I get your opinion on something?
Sure.
How do you feel about that new initiative the government pushed through? The Sentinel program. Figured as a government experiment yourself, you may have some thoughts on the issue.
Back in the creation of giant death machines to hunt down American citizens? Just because they were born different? Yeah, can't say I'm a fan of it. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
Okay, that's what I thought you'd say. And good to know there's a human heart pumping in there. Now, speaking of hearts, go ask the undercover SHIELD agent out.
You're just not gonna let that go, are you?
Nah, it's not my style. Go on. No one's up at the counter. See if she likes Italian. Unless, are you two chicken?
Okay. I'll go do it. But I want it noted I'm doing this under protest.
Oh, yes. I'll put that note right at the top of the minutes we keep for today's meeting.
Steve narrows his eyes at his friend, but that is all he does as he stands and approaches the counter.
Oh, hey, Steve. Is there anything wrong with your coffee?
No, it was perfect. As always.
Steve shifts a glance back at Sam, who has a massive grin on his face as he rolls his hand in a come on motion. Steve looks back to Sharon, who is playing nervously with her hair.
I was wondering if you like Italian.
On the dark side of the moon, a ripple in space-time appears. A moment later, a long, sword-shaped spaceship materializes through it. The ship is heavily damaged. Several decks are open to space, and power flickers across it. On the command deck of the ship, a lone figure sits in the captain's chair. He is an imposing man in purple power armor and a blue faceplate.
Damocles, status report. Now!
Analyzing. Conqueror, the report is not good. Decks 3 through 6 have been flooded with radiation. Decks 7 through 13 have been exposed to vacuum. No survivors. All commanding staff are considered dead as well. All that is left is a half-dozen drones and a replication machine.
What of the time drive?
Damaged and currently non-functional. It is repairable, however.
However what?
An engine does not work without a suitable power source, Mighty Conqueror. You no longer have one. It was ripped out during our fall through space-time.
Very well. When are we?
Analyzing. Most external sensors are either non-responsive or barely working. But according to them, we are near the Terran planet sometime in the early 2010s.
Our history logs have also been damaged, but they are of a suitable technological level to handle most repairs. As for a power source, Damocles, search all known wavelengths for one.
Scanning. Scanning. Scan. Exactly one match has been found, Great Conqueror.
What and where is it?
It is the object known as the Cosmic Cube, and it is being hidden, Conqueror, by an unknown factor. Sensor damage is too much to make out more.
The Conqueror slams a fist into the armrest of the captain's chair.
Very well, Damocles. Begin radiation decontamination procedures. Then find us a spot to land the ship. We will need to hire outside assistance to repair. Open the coffers, but be discreet. Then, we will deal with the power source problem.
Very well, as you command.
Soon, this world will know the name of King the Conqueror.